Big SEC guys here talking about the Ole Miss Rebels today, Joe. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
We're getting closer and closer to that football season, Joe.
We still got content that we've got to hammer out here before kickoff.
We've still got some content we've got to hammer out, people. Joe, let's talk Ole Miss right off the bat. I'm a Lane Kiffin guy. I think he's the new Steve Spurrier. You a Lane Kiffin guy, yay or nay?
I like Lane Kiffin. I'm not sure I'm ready to put him up there with Steve Spurrier. He's how many years into the job at Ole Miss and hadn't won an SEC title yet.
It's a good
So
point.
I
He
think we
hasn't
need to
won Big
pump the
Ten.
brakes on calling him Steve Spurrier. But I am a Lane Kiffin guy. I appreciate what he was able to do in Tuscaloosa. Um, he obviously can scheme people up.
Oh yeah, I think he's the Steve Spurrier comparison's more about personality and play calling. The 2 Ps, personality and play calling. He can do
Yeah.
both.
He's colorful. I love his tweets. I love his tweets.
He's got good tweets. Everybody knows it. Joe,
Everybody knows it.
what do you say we dive right in? Take a look at the old roster here. What are we looking at in terms of returning starters? How we looking?
The least returning starters in the entire SEC.
Yikes.
5. They've
And
got
isn't
5
there
coming.
5 total, offense and defense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Isn't
Now,
there isn't their entire defense basically transfer portal? I think I saw that somewhere.
basically, so they've got 3 guys on offense, 2 guys on defense.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
they very active in the portal as Lane usually always is. Well, we say that, right? And we've talked about him before, but Lucas from Arkansas, like, that's a returning starter.
The
Didn't start
tight
at Ole
end,
Miss,
yeah.
but that's a
He'll be
returning
good.
starter. And there's guys littered through there, so it's not like, it's not a bare cupboard. They went and got some great tight ends. They got some good wide receivers. You know how high I am on Simmons at quarterback. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna
Oh, yeah.
just sling it this year. I worry, as always with Ole Miss and the way they build their roster every year through the portal is the culture, you know? Uh, I I have to believe that played if that kinda roster retention and building had to play some kinda role in them going 9-3 with that team
Yeah.
last year because that was a good football team.
It's a really good Jackson Dart, Trey Harris, that was a really good football team.
Yeah. So I that's my concern, and then Lane just big game Lane, man, he just can't seem to
Game
finish it
plan.
off. I mean, they had us dead to rights back in 2019 in a game they should have won, and I think it was 2019. We were over there in Oxford. I think it was 2019. I wanna say it was, but anyhow, they had us dead to
Found a way to
rights in
blow
that
it.
game. Yeah, and shoulda had us, and we ended up coming back and winning. Um, there's no excuse for them to have lost to Florida last year. No excuse to have lost that game. Um, you they were a playoff caliber team. I mean, I think they were better than Tennessee last year.
Yeah, the weird loss last year for me was that Kentucky game. I mean, that was a bad Kentucky team. How
At
do you
home! At home! We lost at home.
at home? That's
It
crazy.
it's you know, I had forgotten about that because that was early in the season, right? But it was totally inexcusable.
Just a gross loss at home. I don't know how that happens, but
No, yeah, I mean, digging in, I'll tell you the guys that I'm excited about, and admittedly, I'm not gonna be that familiar with the roster because they turn people over so much. But
before you get to your excitement, we gotta talk a little Austin Simmons. We had him as honorable mention, and I think he was maybe 3rd
I
on your QB rank list. Is that right?
2nd or 3rd, I can't remember. I think I did have him at 3rd, yeah.
For the
Yeah,
listeners, Austin Simmons is gonna be a first-time starter here, and he's, had very little play so far, but when he's played, he's looked good.
I
We think
mean,
this guy
that
could be really
drive
good.
against Georgia, watch it be a
Incredible.
one-hit wonder, he's gonna come out and throw 7
Hilarious.
interceptions,
Just terrible. Huh.
but I mean, in that he took Ole Miss right down the field and scored
Oh my
after
gosh.
Jackson Dart got hurt, and I
An
I
incredible
was sitting there
captain.
when I watched it, I was like, "Don't put Dart back in." Like, don't put him back in. They're gonna score 40 points if they leave this kid in the game.
This reminds me, Joe, a little bit. So Lenora Sellers for South Carolina as a true freshman s played, like, 10 plays and was incredible. Like, he had one
Yeah.
drive, it was a touchdown. He had another drive against Vandy where he ran a read option for 50 yards and a touchdown. It was like, this guy's had very little play, but when you see him, he looks great. That's kinda Austin Simmons for me. Like, when you see him,
Yeah.
he passes
He
the
looks
eye test.
he looks the
Yeah,
real deal. Also,
he looks really good.
I'm not gonna jump into, like, the whole bio, but he's basically graduated as a sophomore already.
He's young. Yeah, he's young, he's really
And
smart,
he's
he's a really
young,
good
but he
baseball player.
yeah, really good baseball player. Just all around athlete, really smart kid. I wanna say if he hasn't already graduated, he's, like, a semester away from graduating, I think I read somewhere.
I think I saw that he's going into grad school already. Yeah.
He's he's, uh he's a real deal, understands the game. I think that going into 20 fall of 2026, he will be our best returning quarterback in the SEC.
Like it. Alright, that's a nice take. That's a
Yep.
nice big SEC guy's take.
Big SEC guys take. As
We love
always,
a good take.
I eat my crow fried,
Love it.
with a side of beans and rice. So, back to the roster, Luke Haas is gonna be a great safety blanket for him.
He's gonna be awesome at
Um,
tight end. Yeah.
yep. They took Caleb Oden from I think that's his name, right? Caleb Oden.
Yep.
I get him. We've had a couple of these kinda lanky tight end guys at Alabama that have left and transferred. There was another one that went to, Texas and didn't amount to much. Caleb Odom, he wanted to play wide receiver, went to Ole Miss. Looks like they've moved him back to tight end, but I can he is a mismatch nightmare. And Lane will find a way to get him the ball. That'll be exciting to watch. Good for that kid. We don't have to play Ole Miss this year, so it doesn't hurt my feelings. Um But I'm excited for those weapons. You gotta find a way to keep, Simmons off the ground, though. So, there was only one returning Diego Pounds is the only returning starter on the offensive line. So there you go. But, I mean, they got 2 transfer sophomores at the guards. They've got a redshirt sophomore, so that's a 3-year player at center, redshirt senior at right tackle, and then Diego Pounds back at left tackle. So it's not like they're starting freshmen, but it's not the deepest, most experienced offensive line. They're gonna have to come together pretty quick.
Yeah. The a lot of transfers at receiver. I've got some questions about the offensive line, but I like the quarterback. I like Luke Haas at tight end. I like sort of the top end of their receivers, and I like Logan Diggs, the running back.
Yeah,
So
I do too. I like him. I also like the play caller. I mean,
yeah,
Lane will score
love London.
points. So he's going to find a way to score points. Um, the offense isn't as big a concern. I mean, they're Austin Simmons is or yeah, Austin Simmons, isn't that his name Austin? I'll keep wanting to call him Andrelton Simmons, like after
Austin. Yeah.
after the wasn't that the old
Braves.
shortstop for the Braves?
Brave
Yeah,
shortstop. Yeah, Andrelton Simmons.
yeah, Austin Simmons. Um, so offense, that's gonna be fine. I think they got some big issues on defense. They do have just a stud in Perkins. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but they're also gonna they're gonna get reminded of 3rd and Golding this year. I as many nice things I have to say about Lane Kiffin, I do not have a single nice thing to say about him. So,
Yeah. I'm looking at a, projected depth chart here, and it looks like they might have 7 starters on defense from the transfer portal.
from the transfer portal, I'm looking at the same thing, and I don't see anybody on there that I recognize, but that doesn't mean anything. It's so hard to keep track of these rosters this day and age,
Yeah, that's a challenge.
and they don't pay us the big bucks to do it either, buddy.
They do not. It's hard to do that in the transfer portal. Well, let's take a look at the schedule. What do you
Yep.
think? Feeling floor here.
So key games. I want to jump in key games. You got LSU on September 27th. You got to go to Athens on October 18th. At Oklahoma on the 25th of October. Florida in November. At home, and then you've got Mississippi State. Um, you know. I will also throw in a little game here early in the season that I talked about when we talked about Arkansas. I'm not sure that you're looking at an Ole Miss team that is a 10-2, 9-3 caliber team.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially, I just listed off those games. There's a lot of places you could find a loss on those in those key games. But early in the season, I talked about when we talked about Arkansas, Ole Miss has won a lot of football games here in the last several years. With all the transfers, you don't know culturally if that's gonna stick, but it's a team it's at least a coaching staff that knows how to win a tight game. They're probably not that much better than Arkansas,
Yeah,
really. When you go up and down the roster, kinda similar things we said about Arkansas, really built through the portal, not a lot of returning guys. So they may not really be that much better, but are they gonna be able to find a way to win that game, simply because they know how to win and Arkansas, hadn't quite gotten over that hump?
yeah, they get them at
Um,
home too, which
they
helps.
get them at home. So, I'm gonna circle that game. If they lose that game, it could be canary in the coal mine type of warning about what we're gonna see for the rest of the year. Um, and it would be the flip side, as we talked about for Arkansas, it would be it'd be a huge win on Arkansas' schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. I think for me, if we wanna dive into sort of ceiling floor, the floor for me could be honestly something like 6-6. I mean, I can see this team
I've
losing
got
6
I've got a
games.
ceiling floor of 9-3, 6-6.
Yeah, and my ceiling, I think, is 9-3.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't have this as a playoff team personally.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
don't
them on the
I don't
outside
think
looking
so.
in.
I think they're in a spoiler role this year. I think this might be one thing we'll pop back real quick before we go through the schedule. We'll pop back to these all these transfers and stuff that they've got coming and what could mean for next year, okay?
Yeah,
Um, so the wide receivers they brought in are for the most part, they're seniors, right, on the top end. Caden Lee is a junior. But they'll bring back pretty much their entire offensive line except for the right tackle next year.
yeah,
They'll bring back their quarterback. They'll bring back a couple of the tight end transfers, on offense. On defense, they will only lose 4 guys to graduation. So there's a ton of these transfer guys. I'm sitting here, junior transfer, junior transfer, junior transfer, junior transfer. So 4 of those 7 guys that are gonna be starting that are transfers or slated to start, they're all juniors. So those guys are gonna be coming back, and then they only have 1 other senior in the remaining 4. So this could be a kind of a bridge year for them.
yeah,
They're gonna go in the portal at the end of the year and go grab a piece or 2.
100%.
So this could be a bridge year for Ole Miss. Let's kinda almost reload with another core. Obviously, if you're a Rebel fan, you don't wanna hear that. You want them to go challenge for the playoffs because they were right on the doorstep last year. Should
Yeah,
have made it.
first
2
team out
very
yeah,
inexcusable losses. So, but this could be a big setup into 2026. So, you find a way to go 9-3 on this schedule this year, and you gotta be looking at probably one of the favorites, to be in the playoff the following.
yeah, I like that. Yeah, this could be a 8-4 type year where, you get some of these young guys some play, some run, and
And
then
you're really setting the stage for
the stage.
2026. Yeah.
Lane will go to the transfer portal and hit big, and then, hey, let's do it
Yep.
in 2026.
Yep.
I think that's a
Yep.
really good call out.
Yep.
Alright, let's dive in the schedule. Georgia State, that's a win for me.
When I don't think they're losing to Kentucky 2 years in a row.
At Kentucky, that's a win for me, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and say they're gonna beat Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas at home feels like a win. Tulane at home, that's interesting.
Is that tricky? Is that tricky? I know I talked about Memphis beating Arkansas. Is Tulane at home for Ole Miss? Is that gonna be a problem?
That's gonna be a close game. Yeah,
I
Tulane's
think
good.
it is too.
They've got a good program,
I think
but
it is too.
give me Ole Miss
Um,
starting out 4-0, and then now it's about to get a little sketchy.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Ole Miss wins it. Just
Yep.
because we're the big SEC guys, and if you leave the conference Tulane, I don't care how long ago it was,
Uh,
you have more SEC championships than Ole Miss. Or no, you don't. Ole Miss has a bunch. Ole Miss has a bunch. They don't. They have more than,
South Carolina,
well, yeah, they do have.
hurtful. More than
Or in
everybody who
Arkansas
hasn't won
too,
one.
more than
Yeah. More than everybody
but
that
anyhow,
hasn't.
alright. Moving on. We're gonna say they beat Tulane.
Yeah.
LSU at home, I mean, you're 4-0, you're gonna be pretty jacked up. I think LSU's too much even out.
Yeah, give me LSU.
4-1 off Washington State, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I'll probably take
I
Ole
think
Miss
that's
in
a
this one.
win.
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
that's a win, though.
Georgia weighs a loss for me. Is that a loss for you?
Yeah, it's a loss for me. So what do we got? We have 5-2 right now?
5-2. Oklahoma weighs a loss for me.
I got that that's 5-3. South
South
Carolina at
South
home.
Carolina at home's a loss for me.
Yeah. It's, a big game for both teams, I think, especially where it is on the schedule. That's probably an elimination game for any kind of SEC or playoff consideration for each team.
Yeah. Citadel at
Would
home's
you
a
agree? Would you agree just where it falls on the schedule, that's
that's a
probably
make or break. Yeah,
make
100%.
or break? I mean, and that would be given I mean, that would be giving Ole Miss credit of beating one of the 3 of Oklahoma, Georgia, or LSU.
Yeah.
I have South Carolina winning that game. So we've got 4 losses now, we're 5-4.
We've got yeah, we've got 4 now. Citadel, that's
Alright.
a win.
Yeah, 6-4. I
I think
I,
Florida's a loss.
do they upset Florida? I've got Florida winning, but
Yeah, I like Florida there.
yeah. It would be funny if it was, like a reverse spoiler though, wouldn't it? It would be a little
Epic.
poetic. It would be totally lame too. Um, but I think that's a loss, and then at Mississippi State, I think it's a win. So 7-5
Yeah, 7 and
with
5.
you really didn't give them an upset anywhere along the way. So if they find a way to upset, there's your 8th win. I mean, it's not outrageous to say that out of LSU,
Yeah,
Georgia, Oklahoma, South Carolina, or Florida, those 5 games, that they find a way to win one of
they get at least one of those, I'd imagine, in reality, on
In
paper.
reality, and I mean, they only played 2 of them on the road. So you got 3 really legit chances, South Carolina, Florida, and LSU at home. And you don't I mean, Oklahoma, I think, is gonna be much better this year, but
I think
they're
so, too.
shallow. They're
Yeah.
shallow. So
I think
later
this
in the
Ole Miss
season
team's kinda shallow, though. I don't love the 22
it
like, I don't
is.
love the starting 22. Mhm.
No, it is. I mean, I'm not I would if I'm an Ole Miss fan, then I'm looking at this year, we've got to develop and find where we need the other missing pieces and go get them in the offseason to turn this team. We need to win games to develop confidence as a unit, but we need to kinda build around what we've got this year as a springboard in the next year.
Yeah, I really like your call about this potentially being a bridge year. I think this could be a good year to get some guys some run, and then let's see what they can do in '26.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good call out.
You're bringing those guys back. Yeah. That's kinda what I see with Ole
I'm feeling good,
Miss.
Joe. Yeah. I'm feeling good about that. Good preview.
Alright, let's go do their rivals.
Love it. Let's knock out some rivals.